Hey, welcome back. We have a knife here. Actually, you know what? We have 3 knives now I think about it. So I unfortunately was really busy over the weekend and didn't get to do this. So we are doing a daytime unboxing today. Let's jump in here. This is coming in from a channel viewer. So really appreciate him sending these in. I'll find out if he wants me to share like an Instagram or anything like that after the video. I try not to say people's names on here. So we have a few knives in here. I'm just trying to scroll up. Okay, here we go. All right. So let me open first. Very good. Thank you for doing that. That's very helpful. And this one's open second. So I think we'll do this whole video based on this one. I love the sticker. That's awesome. Yeah, probably work on tearing around that so I can keep it and put it somewhere. That's pretty funny. Nice work. Good stuff. All right. So this first one is Clyde. I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but like Challenor, Clyde Challenor or something like that. Customs, and he does really interesting work. I looked at the website and you can do a PJ or you can upgrade the blade steel. There we go. Clyde Challenor Customs, South Africa. This is the Viper. This one was made in 2021, M390 in Thai. You can get these in Damascus and other variants. And they look really interesting. Really beautiful looking front flippers. I don't know what the obsession is with front flippers in South Africa, but I like them more than flipper tabs, so I'll give it that. And just right away, very nice, clean finish here. Interesting location on the pocket clip. I'm used to these being more on the other side, but that can be good as kind of like an over travel stop. It looks like it does have an over travel stop, so that's cool. Let's see what we think. Very nice action on the opening. Kind of shake shut like a, sort of like a rosy or something on the closing. Ooh, gotta watch out if you do that just right. It looks like it's a nice hand rubbed M390. Love the blade shape. This is a crazy big cutting edge. Oh, very nice on the ergos too. I mean, for me, that's so much cutting edge. I would personally go for a finger choil, be able to choke up on this thing because this is a really big knife. But you know, the ergos are really good. It kind of feels correct. But man, that would be pretty nice to be able to choke up even more. Although I gotta just say, like, you can use this knife really well. Sizing's really nice. This is a big knife. Like, here's the 80-20.5 that I used to unbox it. This is a massive knife. It's not like super tall this way. But, you know, like, let's throw maybe a Demco 80-20 at it or something like that. See how it compares in size. So it's not as tall, but you can see cutting edge wise, it's probably 1-to-1. Smaller handle, obviously. If you go pivot to pivot here, you got a little more handle on the Demco, but the way that this sort of curves up, the Demco, you don't get to use the back part of it here. You can't really have your finger up there, right? So that's your grip. And it ends up being very similar in grip. So a little more efficient. I'm gonna guess this thing's about 4.5 ounces, but let's take a look. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to compare it to here really quickly on size. So Benchmade, bug out. Let's do one more quick size comparison. So, you know, definitely bigger than a bug out. And then we will jump in and weigh it. All right. Wow, 4.01 ounces for that size blade. That's probably the most impressive thing about this knife. Really strong, or not super strong, but like nice crisp detent. Kind of like a 3.3 sham, has like a little bit of a stronger detent. It's like right up there. I haven't noticed yet any susceptibility to the lock bar pressure. I mean, the good thing about front flippers is you usually kind of naturally leave things alone and grab the knife down here. You know, personally, I don't know, maybe I should put my finger on it more than I do, but I don't hold the knife very much with my finger on a front flip. So I'm finding I can do this with all different parts of my finger. Just a really nice crisp detent on that. So we got just over 4 ounces, nice crisp detent. Let's put an actual measurement on this thing because it is a really impressive size. I haven't really seen a knife size like this where it's this long but this light. I mean, aside from the obvious, that's probably like one of the most comparable knives to it in terms of sizing. So if you've had a VC edge interface, which I know is going to be the minority of you, here's a McGinnis spoke. Even that looks a little thicker than this Clyde Challenor. Challenor. Be curious to know if that's how that's pronounced. So we'll go cutting edge first. Full 3.5 inches of cutting edge. It's actually interesting. There's a little less blade. It's 3.5. 3.5 on the blade, 3.5 on the cutting edge. Overall length, right at 8 inches. So definitely a full-size knife. Nice pocket clip. Yeah, I mean, this checks a lot of boxes here. What doesn't jump out to me about this is there's nothing that like, I'm like, oh, I have to have it. Like the action's good on the deployment, but not so much on the closing. Like it's good, but you know, I don't know, maybe if it was cleaned up, it might be a little more drop shut. It's satisfying. It's well centered. It's certainly a well-built knife, but nothing's like, oh my God, you have to have this in the collection. Now, I don't know, maybe a year ago, I might have felt differently, kind of comparing this to the knives I had back then. A little bit of a hot spot on the edges, like it would be nice if he chamfered this on the edge. It's a little sharp here. Do love that beautiful cutout there on the lock bar. Kind of cool if it was on the other side because the shape of it's sort of similar to this. So although this looks a little cleaner, it'd be kind of almost fun if it was on the other side. You got to push the lock bar kind of hard. But overall, you know, you can't knock the knife. It's very nice. It's a very nice knife. So really appreciate you sending this one. Definitely understand the appeal. Definitely feels like a decent value. Looking at about $1,000 for something like this. Maybe a little more depending on what options you go for. Let's just see. Good on the lockup. Good on the lockup. No forward back, of course. Yeah, I mean, really nice lockup there. It's got a lock bar insert, so this must be, you know, a CNC knife. You probably looked at it and could tell right away, but I wasn't quite sure. But it's got, you know, nice, looks like an over travel stop, and interesting how the pin comes through here on the other side. I don't see that very often, but that's an interesting design approach. You know, minimal hardware. This side has no visible hardware, which is pretty cool. So I do like that. That's something I should have called out a little earlier. I was trying to kind of place the simplicity of it, and this, you know, no captive, or like, I guess, captive pivot design is really nice on the show side. That's probably the most outstanding attribute of this knife if I had to pick one. That's pretty cool. I wish more makers would do something like this. Very seamless. So basically just got 2 visible screws and then this one that kind of comes through on the other side. But yeah, I think that's about all for now. May spend a little more time looking at this and thinking about it. But yeah, the biggest drawback I'd say would be little hot spots. If you chamfered this a little more on the edges, I think that'd be nice. Something a little more like they do on the Lamia. You just bend it down a little bit. Same thing with the Rosie. Put a little chamfer on there. And the brown. It's pretty popular if you're doing a CNC knife to put a little chamfer on there. I think that'd take this guy to the next level. I don't know, maybe he doesn't now. This is a 4-year-old knife now, but overall, very good. Thanks for sharing that one with me. And if you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.